Hey guys, Ty here. We've spent about 5 hours now. It's Saturday, and we planted over 60 trees today. We got over 20 Siberian elms, 20 a type of willow, and 20 Russian olives. They're a lot like autumn olives. Planted into the ground today. Took quite a while, but we got them planted. We're using some of them up along our southern border with the road, which I've described to you guys multiple times. We're just trying to add a little bit of thickness up there. The awesome thing is these hinge cuts, which I actually have one hanging down over me right now, and if you can see, it's budding. I would say probably about 85 to 90% of the hinge cuts that we did just a month and a half ago, they're in full bloom. Well, not full bloom, but some of them are. But they're definitely starting to get grain. They're budding up, and it's going to create quite the lower growth this year, which is going to make it awesome. And planting those trees this year along the southern border is going to create a more dense shield from the road, and those deer are going to be encouraged to move a little bit more often. We did find a ton of beds in there, which was awesome to see. We then moved and went along our northern border, which is the border that we hinged cut like a tornado came through, and put that fence in basically, because that's where we have the trespassers, that's where we have the other hunters, and that's where we're trying to discourage the most hunting taking place. So we planted some Siberian elm in there that are going to get nice and thick. We planted some Russian olives as well. So we'll see, but there's one awesome thing that I want to show you guys, and I'm gonna go walk to it here in a second. Bad thing is, we were already in it once. It's starting to get dark, so we might bump this deer out of there for a week or two, but we'll see what happens. But there is a, let's see, this would be to our northwest. There's a marsh area, and there's a lot of water in it right now. There's water in every hole in here. Wherever there's clay holding, there's just water everywhere. And the creek that we have dumps into this marsh, and we kind of walked up into it because we know we've always had deer bedding in there, and we've even had bucks talking to us out of the marsh but never wanting to come out. Well, we walked down into this marsh, and well, I'll just let the video show you guys what we found, but let's just say it's the best buck bed I've ever found. I guarantee you it's a buck bed, because a buck's gonna want to live there because they're gonna feel safe. They're surrounded, they got water close. So I will show you that next. Well, actually, I'm going to show you a couple hinge cuts on my way to it, so, and then we'll show you the bed. All right, so right here is that northern border. This is the beginning of the hinge cuts that we wanted to make, because if I pan back, right back there's the opening to the big food plot around there to the right. And just for bearing purposes, the last videos I showed you my tree stand that I shot that buck out of. It's right there. So this is where we're at. This is the beginning of the northern border. And there's the hinge cuts back there. Let me see if I can't zoom in. Yeah, right here. You'll see, here's part of the hinge. See those little green buds? That's budding. It's budding right here. We're getting good bud growth all the way through. But let's walk on down this trail a little bit. All the tops are over here to the right. Let me see if I can't zoom in enough for you guys to see them. All those tops are from hinged trees right there, laying horizontal. I mean, it's just amazing how these trees can keep growing. And I mean, here's a good example. This is a tree, this is a redbud that when we put in the path got knocked over. Right here, I mean, pretty much annihilated. There's moss, it's almost dead, but look at this. There's a shoot coming out, and it's blooming. Nice little redbud tree growing on its side. There's another shoot coming out. It is amazing what these trees are capable of if they're injured or cut or hinged at the right time of the year. I mean, it is just awesome. But here you'll see right in there, that redbud, that's a hinged tree. That's blooming. Its hinge originates right there, over that way. But see, look at all that sideways. That is a hinged tree in full bloom. Just absolutely amazing. Look at all that growth. There's some red buds, all those green buds on the other ones. There's a hackberry in there. There's an elm. This is the northern trail we want them to use. I'm gonna use it to get to that food plot, or I mean towards the marsh. But here you'll see we propped this tree up because this tree's hinged, but it's budding really good, so we don't want to get rid of it, so we just propped it up with a piece. And you'll see that's where we're heading here in a little bit. My dad's over there clearing that, where we're gonna have some new food plots. But we need to go down creek. All right, I'm just on the skirt edge of this marsh, and this is the entrance trail. I sure hope this video does it justice. But you'll see, look how muddy it is. It's holding water good. See now, if I scroll over here to the right, look, that is all water. Now granted, this doesn't always have water in it, but this is the first place to hold water in our entire woods because this is where all the water runs to. You'll notice here's a little knoll right here. And then when we got to here earlier, we looked up and here's space. Right here's water again. And then there's this island. And I kind of cleared it out, but there was a bed here. You can see there's some hair. There's a bed here. There's a bed right here. See the hair? Bed right here. There's a bed there. And then I'm not gonna walk to it, but there's a bed over there. There's a hair. But you can see, I mean, look at this. Look how thick it is. And we're gonna try, our objective is to try to cut him another path out because we really don't want, we want him to have a path going that way. And I'll tell you why. Hang on just a second. See, I'm kneeling in the buck bed right now. And the way you're looking back behind me is towards my tree stand. You might think that's a good thing, but that's also where the neighbor's tree stands are, because that tree stand that I showed you a little bit ago is on that same property that the other hunters hunt. We have permission to hunt it. We had permission first. We really want that buck to have an exit going behind you, basically through this water right here. Or even that way. That way would be the best. But with the water this high, it just doesn't have a good exit elsewhere unless it's willing to walk through the water, which I know they will, but it's really thick through here. So, but I mean, it's got a couple places to go if it's dry. But here, I'll turn around. This is what it looks like from about a buck's level. If it's bedding in one of these beds, I'm holding it right over it. That's the way we came in. That's the other knoll. But I mean, you'll notice it's got this big tree here for cover. It's got all these little guys. It's dry. There's water nearby. But I mean, you can tell, depending on the way the wind is, it's got 4 different beds that it lays in right here on this little island. See, we'd really like it to be able to have an exit that way, right through there. Only thing is we're gonna have to cut one because it ain't natural. But yeah, And I'll show you. Look, this deer's bedding close enough. Right there, right up through there's the neighbor's house. Absolutely amazing. I'm gonna get out of here now because it's still got a couple hours to and there's another neighbor's house right up through there, which is actually really close to my stand. Right there's the house. My stand is over this way about 70, 80 yards. But the deer don't seem to be mindful of the house really all that much. So